Alright, so typically, like we said, when we touch up our tools, we want to be under this position page, right? So the other one is what? I showed you guys that yesterday, where you can see how much you like remaining and buffering. What's that one called? Like I said, guys, I'm going to be up here talking. It's up to you whether you write it down or not. You guys are all grown. I'm not going to tell you, hey, remember, you know, like, go step by step or write this down because you're going to need it. If I'm up there talking and you think you're going to need it, just go ahead and start writing.
Position and command screen?
The command one, right? So the other one is command. So this one's position, and if I hit this, that's command. That's how I go to my distance to go, remaining, and everything like that, right? So when I run my program, I'm going to run it under this, right? Because if I'm running my program, and I only have that on there, how do I know where it's going to stop, right? How do I know when my Z is going to not go any further and hit my jaw or hit my table? If you hit that table, that's a lot of money, right? Especially if you damage your spindle. If your spindle's not aligned anymore, that's a hell of a lot of money to get Mazak to come out here. But when we call Mazak just to service the machine, basically like changing your oil, they charge us $1,800.
Damn.
Just to come out here and do that. So just imagine that if you misaligned the spindle, how much that would cost for them to come over here and repair that. We're talking about thousands of dollars, right? So like we said, to open the door, we gotta push the button. Now I can open it or close it, right? And as we said before, when it's green, you want the switch to be on green. When it's on red, that's when you're gonna run your program. Red and red, orange and orange, whatever you wanna say, all right? All right, so since I have my door closed, well, I'm gonna open it so I can, somebody turn on the TV, please.
Alright. All I did was turn on the GoPro. It's in there.
Yeah.
Hold on.
And then the HMI on this TV. So make sure we can see it over there, what's going on inside.
There, everyone.
Ta-da!
Alright, so I like having that on because obviously this is a very small window and we can't really see it, right? On the hospital, you don't really need one because all the sides are actual glass on there. So this glass, especially the newer one, should be able to even stop a bullet.
Ballistic.
Damn.
Yeah. So
They needed that last night in Maine.
we're not gonna try that, right? So I don't want you to bring your guns and start shooting at the machine and be like, let's see if it stops to 45. Let's see if it stops to, you know. But I've heard of people even say that if there's a hurricane, they would go inside the machine and close the doors, and that's the safest place.
Damn.
I'm like, man, you better call up a tool
So it
that
floods.
there's nothing on the tool in there, you know, because if there's an end mill or a drill, yeah, let the machine roll over and you be inside of it.
You just go in there and turn the breakers off.
And starts running.
Go on the tumble dry.
All right, so
It's good size.
this is why I said, guys. So on your test, these are kind of like the steps we're gonna take, right? I'm gonna show you guys slow and easy at first, and it's gonna be quite a bit of steps, right? And this is just touching off, but it's just like the Haas lathe and the Haas mill. Once you do it repetitive a few times and everything, it becomes second nature. This, it has to become second nature to you because you're gonna do it every day if you're running it at a shop, right? Every day you're gonna be touching off. You have to. There's no way around it, right? All right, so if I want to do auto, where do I have to be at? So I see none of these are for the tool change, right? So on the Haas's, where do I have to be under?
MDI.
MDI, right? So if I push MDI, now I get a whole list of different soft keys, correct? So write this down. Tool number 4 is your end mill. Tool number 8 is your face mill. Those are the ones that we're going to use the most right now. Those are the most common ones.
4 is end mill, 8 is face mill. 4 is end mill, 8 is face mill. 4 is end mill, 8
In
is
Spanish.
face mill. Cuatro es el mil y 8 es
What's 5?
I just say face mill in Spanish.
Face mill.
Face Emilio.
Cara Emilio.
Besa.
La cara de Emilio. Alright, so like we said, guys, it's easier to do auto at the beginning because with auto it rotates the table by itself, right? This one right here makes it faster. That's your rapid. When you guys are up here, I only want you to be at 10%. What percent, Bill?
100.
10%. All right,
Minus 90.
Subtract the 0 off that.
10%.
10% rapid.
0%?
All right, and this is your rapid on your feet. So this will, when it's cutting, this would make it go faster on your feet.
Now, is that representative RPM right there, or is that
On
percentage?
this,
No,
the-
feed.
The feed.
the feet, it's for the feed, not the RPM.
Right,
Well,
so inches per minute.
yeah. So on the movement itself
What
of
is
the
that
tool.
representative of? So that's right now it's on 100 inches per minute.
Well, it's at 100. So if I put my feed rate at 32, it's gonna be at 32.
Okay.
So if I put it lower than 100, it's gonna start decreasing from 32. If I put it higher, it's gonna go higher than 32.
Oh,
All right.
so 100%.
So 100% is what it is on the program.
So that's
Gotcha.
percentage there.
Yeah. All right.
200%.
So now I'm gonna go under
Of
MDI.
100.
I'm gonna push tool measure auto. Right. So what tool do I want? Tool number 4. Right, because it's my end mill.
In mill.
So it's asking me right here what tool number. So I'm gonna hit 4.
And it shows in the bottom right.
There's
Very
a 4
little.
right there, right? It's real small. You gotta look at your screen, guys. Look at your screen, because I have a lot of people that
Way down there.
they fat fingered it or they accidentally push it twice. Then it says 44, and it's not gonna do anything, correct? So make sure it says 4, and then this is the little enter symbol, right? For Mazak. So I'm gonna hit enter. Look what happens. It brings up the code for me automatically, right? So now when I push cycle start, it turns yellow. It's thinking. Look at the screen. So it's gonna make a tool change first. Then it rotates the table.
Whoa.
Then it comes over, drops to Z.
Kind of a collision there.
And it comes up by itself.
So is that what 3 months code? It's
Yep.
the tool change.
M196 T004N. Yeah, but look at everything it did, and we just hit 3 or 4 different
And that
buttons.
just rotated up B.
With that fucking arm that swings out and shit. That we never even
Well,
used.
I mean, you got to program all.
If it what?
If it's like on the tool, like let's say it's starting on 4, and
It won't do a tool change. It will just automatically go. Because it knows which one is for. So it's already saved in its memory.
And that rotation that went to the probe was on. That's B?
B90.
Yeah. Okay.
C
Is the
is this
other
one,
one.
the table, right? So now, after we touch off on auto, right? You, like I said, you want to do auto first because that table rotated on its own, right? If you do the semi, the table doesn't rotate at all. So you have to manually come over here to B and rotate it until it says 90 degrees. How long is that going to take you? Then you're going to go a little bit over 90. Then you got to come back. Then you go under. Then you got to go right on it, right? Forget about all the eliminations or the risks or the problems you can take and let the machine do it for you, right? So now what I want to do is I want to do a tool change, correct? So, because I'm going to grab my tool number 8, which is a face mill. So I just hit tool change. Hey guy, what number do you want? Number 8. Enter. So it brings up the code for me, right? Hit cycle start. So it's rotating over there.
It'll keep the table rotated like that.
Yeah, because I didn't, no code on here said anything about the table to move or anything, right? So now I got my tool, right? At this point, you could, if you choose so, you could open up the door, right? But I have to jog it on top of the probe setter. So why would I want to open up the door? Because it slows it down whenever you jog it, right? So I like to keep the door closed. I'm gonna pick a speed. I'm gonna come over an X first. Now here's where some guys get a problem with it. Because if you have it on Z and you try to go up, it's gonna throw you an alarm. It's gonna say, hey, that's my limit. I can't go up any higher. These have limit switches. Every machine should have a limit switch on it. Well, any machine that costs a good amount of money has limit switches on them. The very, very cheap ones and everything, I mean, you'd go and the damn thing will fall off and you're like, what the hell? So, because they won't have a limit switch on it, right? But these have limit switches on it. So, for example, if I'm on Z and I try to go higher, interference cover, right? So, Mazak has a blue alarm is a soft alarm. A red alarm is definitely dead, no go. You gotta solve that alarm before you do anything else, and it will probably take you a little bit longer to solve the red alarms than it would the blue alarms, right? So luckily on this machine, we have this button that's called reset, right? So we just push reset, and that alarm should come off. But if I try to go Z up again, obviously it's gonna give me that alarm again, and it's not gonna move, right? So if I have that alarm, and then I'm like, oh, damn it, I have that alarm, so let me move on my X. A soft alarm will still let you move, right? The blue alarm will still let you move on there. It just pretty much say, hey, boom, you got an alarm, kind of like a cop warning before he pulls you over, right? You can still kind of move, you can still kind of pull over to the side or slow down or whatever. But the red ones, once he pulls you over, most likely you're gonna get a ticket, right? So with the soft alarm, I can still move my machine. With the red alarm, I can't do anything until I solve that alarm, right? So I'm just gonna take off that alarm again. You can do it either hitting reset or hitting that button, right? I like hitting reset because I'm just used to it, right? So I'm gonna bring it over on my X. Take it easy on this, guys. I've seen some students get on it and they try to weld on it so it can go faster and everything. You break this, what happens?
$1,800.
Easily. Easily. I wasn't even counting the part and everything. So that's there.
So I was writing down notes. When you did that tool change, did you do tool change auto on that one too, or no?
On this one?
Yeah, it was already
No,
on
just
auto.
tool change.
Just the word tool change.
Yeah, just tool change. I could do it again afterwards if you guys want. That way, because I know at the beginning it's a little bit harder to get grasp of it. Right?
So this one you have to do it manually because it has that center section, right? So you have to get it on
When
that
you want to
flat
put
piece
it on
that
the
I was
insert.
using yesterday.
You want to touch the insert.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
That's the most bottom part of this tool, right?
Yeah.
Not up here. It's right here. So this, because just imagine this hitting the face.
Yeah.
Give me that part. Oh, hold on. Just imagine this being Z0 on top of the face.
Yeah, it's gonna dig
right?
into it.
So just imagine it was down here. We would be
Yeah, half inch.
already dropped lower than that, correct?
Yep.
So that's why you want it there on that one.
So you want to touch off on the lowest part of your tools, basically. 'Cause that's
Which is most of the time your inserts.
Yeah.
Your inserts are going to be the lowest because it has to cut with the inserts, right?
Yeah. So you could do. I mean, would there be any other tool that you would do that for, like?
Trying to look at the other tools. I don't think we have one here, but I'm pretty sure there's some out there.
So you're just going to touch that insert on that probe
Yeah.
manually.
So now I'm going to put my Z down. Alright, so what I'm trying to do right now is position it
Inserts on.
right above it, right? Alright, everybody come up here and look at it. See how that insert is facing towards me?
Yeah.
That's the one you want to touch. Because if you touch the insert facing towards the right or the left, you kind of risk hitting the table more, correct? So you want to have that insert that's facing towards you. You want to have it like that. If I drop into the table, it will hit the table, right? Why? Yeah, because the tools are interchangeable, right? So like I said, we can get it close to there, And then you can open up the door if you need to, so you can really see where it's at, right? Now, you see how it gave me an alarm? Hey, we got an interlock. Why? Because I'm green and I'm red, right? So I need to be green on green.
Damn it.
And then take it off, right?
Just remember that.
Now,
Next time I see that.
this is gonna, whenever you bring this tool there, you want to be around 200 thousandths away from the actual top of the probe. If not, the sensor won't recognize it and it won't hit it, right? So this is where you gotta, what was that guy's name? That win?
That one.
No, yeah.
Eyeball it.
You're gonna
Oh,
eyeball
that
it,
one.
but you gotta get used to
Wing.
seeing about how much 200 thousandths is. Because if you're too far, it's not gonna do anything. And obviously you don't want to be too close because you risk hitting that top of the probe.
Just use a paper for that.
So
It's like the size of your pinky.
If you hit the top of this and you break it, that's a few $100s. Right?
That one.
So whenever I get close to it, I'm gonna get an alarm, right? So it's gonna say, hey, you're going too fast or you're getting real close to it.
About to crash.
So then we gotta take off the
Hit the
safety
brakes, hit the
shield.
brakes, hit the brakes, hit the
Right.
brakes.
You gotta take off the training wheels.
It's like
So-
he's like your wife hitting them.
Hey guys,
Imagine
pay
the
attention real
brakes.
quick, man. I'm trying to teach you this, and then you're gonna be asking
What
questions.
is that? Okay, that's it.
So when I come down on my Z, right? See how it says interference tool, correct? That's too far right now that if I do the semi-auto, it's not gonna recognize that insert, right? If I look over here on the left, you guys see these lights? So that's where it's catching on there, and that's how it's getting that information, right? So if it's too far, it's gonna say, hey, the gap is too far from you, correct? So what we have to do to take this code out is just go to safety shields, click check machine interference, and that's it. I deactivated, right? So it was safety shields, check machine, INTER.
Safety what?
Shield.
Shield. Yeah.
Check machine interference.
Yeah. It's this thing.
Since that was blue, you could have kept going, though, right? Or
No,
no?
because this one, when it's been a machine one, it's recognizing like, hey, I'm getting too close. Do you really want me to keep on going, right? So it's kind of like a limit switch.
Hit the brakes because you're about to hit a wall.
So now I can go down on my Z. Whenever you get this close, guys, go a little bit slower, right? Whenever you get that close, click on this one. Now, this is different than the other one. Like that fast one goes faster than this fast one. So on that fast one, if you're scrolling with the dial and you stop, it's still gonna
drift.
a little bit more, right? This one's not. So this slow is very slow, right? So we're gonna click the second one. We're gonna bring it over. You wanna have control of it. When you stop, it stops, right? So we want to be about right there. Everybody see that? We're about 200 thousandths away, and my insert, if it goes down, it's gonna hit right there on that tool sensor, right?
So what did y'all do before you found this? Touch off, like, you would have to do it the same way you did normally.
Yeah, because this is making sure the Z's all follow each other, right? If you don't have this, then you have to touch off every single tool on top of your part. And sometimes when you're talking about 300 tools,
Yeah,
that might take you a while, right? So that's on there. Now, anytime you push cycle start, the doors have to be closed, right? So I'm gonna close the door, push that button, turn this to the left, right? A lot of people forget to do that because you don't have to do that with the house, right? So a lot of people forget that because if you forget to do it, it's gonna give you an alarm of a switch, but we know your switch means the key, right?
So like all the way to the left, not the middle one.
Huh?
Not the middle one. Like in the middle.
No, the middle one, you can't really be on it. You either gotta be on left or right, right? So now that I'm there, I'm gonna go back to MDI because I'm gonna put my tool measure semi-auto. I'll give you guys a second since a lot of people are ready. I can't believe that student didn't come in. First day of class.
All right, so you went to NBI, and then on the bottom, the quick keys is the tool measure semi-auto.
TMSR and semi-auto.
It's funny how they put semi-auto.
So I'm gonna click it. Now this window's gonna pop up, and it's gonna say, "Hey, do you want to measure with the spindle, with the tool that's in the spindle?" And you're just gonna hit OK because that's the one you want, right? So we're gonna hit OK, and it brings up MDI M198. Right. So then you just hit the cycle start. You can see the actual rim shot. You see how it beats. And it goes down, touches. Okay. Touches again, and it comes up.
Then voila, you're done.
So now, at this point, a lot of people like to take it back to a speed, go to Z and jog up, right? I just got used to pushing the home button and sending it home. Because with this machine, it always says send Z back home first, right? No matter what, the settings are set to. So if I push the home key and I push this down, see how it's raising Z first? Then it brings the table over and it rotates C back to 0 also.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
So once we see all of these red dots, all of these dots red, that means that it's home, right? So the first time you turn on the machine, your C is gonna be off center, right? Because you haven't sent it home yet. So it's gonna say 358, under 360, right? So, but after one person sends it home, the next people kind of don't have to wait until C goes home, because it's already gonna be home. Does that make sense? So whenever you send it home, the biggest thing is having your Z come all the way up, because then the table rotates back to 0. So you're looking at B, making sure that it's back on 0. Because if I don't take it all the way back to 0, and your B is like this, well, what happens whenever I touch the face mill on one end and the other?
High
And
spot,
cut through
low
it.
spot, scrap part.
Exactly, right? So it needs to sit perfectly on the 0. So when
Tell
you
you
touch
when your
both sides,
mill's all fucked up.
it's gonna be there.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Alright, so that's the first part of this. The first part of your test is you touching off your Z's, right? You guys want to practice this or y'all want me to keep on going?
No, let's practice that.
Practice.
So the first tool change.
Let me go use the restroom real quick.
All right, there we go. Touch up.